Hello everyone. So today I decided to do something a little bit different. So I want to kind of give you like a quick introduction to SQL and all the great things you can do with it. It's a great language. I personally really love it. You get to manipulate data. Um, really cool thing to learn, especially when working with large set of data. Um, so just to start, I have a student table here. We have the student number, score, subject, pass or fail column. So this is just kind of telling us what subject the student took, what was their score in that subject, whether they passed it or fail. For the pass and fail, in case you're wondering, this was just based on a criteria. If they got a score 3 or higher, is considered pass, otherwise was fail. So now the syntax for SQL, basically you want, so you have like three main ones. So you want to select it from what? So from what table, and where being like what condition. So select what? So let's say you want to select everything in the student data. So you put a star. So select star from student table. So collect this and execute. So as you can see here, when it runs, it gives us all the data. Now, let's say we are not interested in all the data. We just want to see one particular column first. And so let's say we're just interested in seeing all the subjects in our database or in our data set, right? So I can say select the column name. So subject from where, what table. I'm selecting it from the students. So by the way, this is the database name and DBO is the table name. So this table name, student data, is hosted inside the student database. Okay, so here I have all my databases here. And then as you can see, I have the student database. And inside the student database, I have the student table right here. Okay, so student data table. So now I'm selecting the subject from student database.dbo student data. So let's execute this. Well, I'm getting an error. This is because the subject, the word subject is already taken, right? So I probably let me just put it in bracket, right? So they know that I'm referring to subject of there we go. So because the word subject is already kind of taken by SQL, so I'm probably not allowed to use the same thing. So I just put them in brackets. That way we know that we are referring to this column in our data set. So here, as you can see here, it's just returning all the subjects. There is no student name, no column whether they passed or failed, and there is no score because we just selected that. So we can do the same thing. Let's say we just want to select the score, right? Just do that here. So as you can see here, I'm just seeing all the score. So now let's say I want to select the subject and the score. So I can put in subject. Again, I'm just going to put in quotation mark. And not quotation mark, sorry, brackets. You won't always have to do that. Again, it's just because the names are taken. And then I put comma, the next column I want to select. So that's score. And then I run. So now I'm seeing subject and score. As I just showed you earlier, if I put a star here, you're going to show me everything. So just going to go ahead and select all of this. So just select all. The star means all. That will show me all the columns in our database, in our data set. Okay. So now another clause, something else that we have in SQL is a where. So where is just a condition. It's just telling you, okay, among my data, do you want to select something very particular? So let's say inside all the student data here, I want to select just the student maybe taking bio, right? So what is the bio? That word bio is inside the subject column. right? So that means our where clause is going to be where subject, so the column name, right? So again, I'm just going to put in quotation mark. For some reason, SQL doesn't like me using subject here. So where subject equal, then I put so where subject equals to biology or something. Right? So now when I select this, I should just see all the data, but it's just bio data. Right? I mean all the columns, but just bio data. So let's go select. As you can see, it's just showing me all the students taking bio. So you have like 85 students. Okay. And you can manipulate it as much as you want, right? So let's say I want to select the sub equal to bio, and then we have another option here where we can have like and clause. And means both sides must be true. So if you say subject equals to bio and the pass or fail column is equals to pass, in these 85 rows, we have all the bio, whether they pass or fail is all included. Let's say we want to find just the bio and also only the student who have passed, right? So then we should only see the data containing just the pass data. So, and then so I would end, and so the column name again, pass slash fail equals pass. Right. Now I'm only seeing, instead of 85 rows, now I'm only seeing 31 because my condition says where subject is bio and pass or fails column equals to just pass. So if I put pass or fail column equals to fail, I would just get all the students who have taken bio and who have failed it. So select, and I see 54, right? So I had 31 earlier, and I have 54. That everything we showed, the total was 85. So it makes perfect sense, right? Maybe we can add another condition. Let's say we want to say, and we only want to see students who have failed, but has a score. I mean, well, they all have a score. Let's say who have a score equals to 1. So let's say score equals to 1. So let's see here. Hopefully we'll accept the word score. There we go. So now it's showing me, so as you can see, our table is shrinking, right? So we see the student number, score, subject, pass or fail, but this is, we're just seeing the student who have taken bio and who have just failed, right? And not just fail, but also have a score of 1, right? So again, the and means all of these must be true, right? As you may guess, there will be an or, right? So if you say where subject equals to this, or pass or fail equals to fail, it will just look for whether subject is bio or whether pass or fail is fail. So let's run this. When I run it, as you can see, we get a lot of data. So it's looking on this table. So, okay, is subject equals to bio? Yes. Is it pass or fail? Although it's a pass, but something here is true, just because the subject is bio, so it doesn't matter whether this is pass or fail, because one of these conditions must be true. Now here, the subject is not bio, but the student has failed, because again, it's an or statement. Only one condition has to be true for the entire thing to be true. So subject, although it's not bio, but pass or fail is a fail, so this is true, so it will return. Same thing goes for the world history. Subject is not bio, right? We ask subject to be bio, although it's not bio, but the pass or fail is fail, they will return. And same thing goes here, right? So here the pass is a pass, but then subject is bio, then it's true, right? I hope that makes sense. Again, it's just an or statement, right? So it's either one condition can be true. Now, let's say we want to maybe find the student who have taken history, whether it's world history, whether it is, I think we have different histories here. So we have US history, and then we have also, let's say here we have world history, right? Let's say we want to find all the students who have taken history. History, the word history is in the subject column. So we're going to have our where to be subject, where subject. Now, we're not going to have an equal. This is what we call wildcards. So wildcards allow us to kind of find just like a portion of that row. So we put like, and then location. Now I'm looking for the world history in any. So the world history could be in the middle, could be at the beginning, could be at the end. So it doesn't matter. So what I do is I put % here, and then I type in history, and then % at the end, close quotation. What this is saying is, I don't care what comes before history. I don't care what comes after history. All I care about is the word history to be anywhere in my string. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So if is US history, it doesn't care what comes before that, what comes before the word history, as long as it contains the word history, that's what matters. So if I go ahead and run this, let's see what happens. So as you can see here, I'm seeing US history, world history, US history, and world history, because it's just looking for the word history in any position, right? Now let's say using maybe like also, so that this was wildcards. And now let's say I want to maybe look, as you can see here, like these students, like their numbers start with what, like some of them like 333, some of them 404, 401, some like with 7,000. So let's say I'm looking for all the students whose student number start with 401. Or let's just say maybe this student number start with 4. Right? So it's just as a way to group them all together. Now, if you want it to start with 4, then we can put 4, and then I do not care what comes after 4, right? I just wanted to begin with 4. But here, sub is not the subject, but now we are looking for what? The student number, right? So we're looking for where student number start with 4. So 4, again, I said % means I do not care what comes after that. I just want it to start with 4. So let's go ahead and run this. So I should see all the students' numbers starting with 4. As you can see, exactly, you don't see any students whose numbers start with 3 or 2 or 7. So these are all the students of 4. And the same thing, we can do the same thing. Let's say we want to just find the students that start with 7, right? The student number start with 7. So run it. The 11 students start with student number start with 7. Again, that's the nice thing about wildcards, right? So let's say I want to maybe find all the student number that ends with 1, right? So that means I don't care whether it start with 4 or 7 or 1. I just want all the student number whose number ends with 1. So that means I do not care about the beginning. So if I don't care about the beginning, I'm just going to have a % here, and then I put a 1, meaning it must end with a 4. So let's run it. I mean, sorry, it must end with a 1. So as you can see, these are all the students, their student number ends with a 1. And you can see here, some of them start with 4 or 3 or 2, because we said our wildcard, we do not care what start with, we just care about how it ends. SQL in a nutshell, and this is like at the very basic level. You can manipulate this as much as you want. Just play with it. In the next video, I will explain some other concepts in SQL, such as like joins, inner joins, outer joins, self joins, left joins, right joins. So how can you join different tables to create one table? I hope this makes sense. And if you have any comments or questions, please leave it in the comment section. And thank you so much for watching and have a great day.